The Russian authorities plan to spend 13.5 trillion rubles on the war against Ukraine in 2025, or 38 billion rubles a day. 4 Russian regions spend less a year. The Moscow Times journalists have calculated the annual budgets of Ingushetia, Kalmykia, and Nenets Autonomous District are less than 30 billions, and Moscow allocates 15 billion for the needs of all residents of the Jewish Autonomous Region. In 64 Russian regions, annual budgets are less than Russia's weekly expenditures on the war against Ukraine.
Only 18 regions of the Russian Federation out of 83 have budgets that exceed the weekly cost of the war against Ukraine. Among them are Moscow, 4.7 trillion rubles, St. Petersburg, 1.2 trillion rubles, and their regions, as well as regions with developed mining and processing industries. The Khanty-Mansi Autonomous Area, 308.6 billion rubles, Yamalo-Nenets Autonomous Area, 389.6 billion rubles, Kemerovo, 280.1 billion rubles, Chelyabinsk, 331.3 billion rubles, and others. From the Moscow Times publication.
In total, Russia will spend about 40% of its budget on defense and security in 2025, far more than on education, healthcare, and social policy combined. Against the backdrop of record military spendings, social spendings are being cut. But on the contrary, 25% more will be allocated on Putin's maintenance.
It's such a paradoxical truth for civilized world, but for Russia it is a reality. When pensions are cut and at the same time military expenditures are increased, that means that basically the pensioners are paying for this war, while they themselves are left with nothing. It is becoming a reality.
Experts do not rule out that the National Welfare Fund of the Russian Federation may completely empty by as early as second half of 2025. The Kremlin uses it to cover the budget deficit provoked by the growth of military spendings. About 5 trillion of funds, 12 trillion rubles, are liquid, but by the end of 2024 this amount will be reduced. In addition, Bloomberg predicts that the Russian currency will fall to 100 rubles per dollar.
The ruble twice broke through 100 per dollar last year. The central bank responded by hiking the key interest rate 350 basis points at an emergency meeting in August last year. The government then imposed tougher capital controls in October, requiring 43 groups of exporters to repatriate 80% of their foreign currency earnings and to sell almost all of it for rubles on the domestic market, from a Bloomberg publication.
The Kremlin can increase spending on the military sector not only by saving on social welfare. Increasing taxes and excise duties is another obvious measure. Moscow is also counting on the revenues from the sale of resources, gas and oil. However, due to the sanctions, export profits are steadily declining. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.